basically, I want to go back to where you actually started. And you started, we talked, you ended up buying your first midget.
Yeah.
And you were from the Romney area.
Lafayette, actually.
Okay, Lafayette.
Mm-hmm.
And we both know a gentleman that was from Romney, and I believe he ended up helping you a lot. Kind of give us the first step into your racing, how you actually initially were involved.
Well, I got to know Bob Eidman, and I was crazy about race cars. But my grandpa took me on my first 500-mile race when I was 11 years old, and at that time I thought I got to drive race cars. And it just never left me. It was, a lot of guys want to be firemen or policemen or whatever. I want to be a race driver. And so I got to know Bob, and Bob had a midget out there that he would sell me on time. He wouldn't let me race it till it was paid for, which was smart on his part. But anyway, so I started buying this midget, and I was going to college at the same time. My dad had always told all four of us, I had three sisters. He always told us if we graduated, we didn't get a car in high school. That was not a deal. We rode our bicycles and whatever, but he told us when we graduated from college, he'd buy us either a Ford or a Chevy, a new car. We wouldn't have to start life out with a car payment. So anyway, I'm going to school. It's my senior year. I come home at the semester break. I said, told Dad I was going to quit school. He said, why are you going to quit? And I said, because I want to go to work now in the wintertime and get the midget paid for so I can race it this summer. He said, well, how much do you owe on the midget? And I said, $1,500. He said, tell you what I'll do. He said, you go back to school, I'll pay the $1,500, but you don't get the new car. I jumped up and shook his hand, said, deal. Walked out the door and I thought, he just saved himself $1,500 because the new Chevy at that time was $3,000. He just saved himself $1,500. Wow. So anyway, make a long story short, I got the midget, and I got to start racing it. And I was 23 years old at the time before I ever got in a race car.
But with Mr. Hageman's help, he also told you need to start running USAC.
Yes.
Right off the bat.
Yes.
You learn from some of the best, and you'll learn.
Well, he said because I asked him, I said, should I start running BCRA or car or something like that? And he said, no. He said, you need to run with the best there is. He said, they'll teach you how to run hard and how to run fast. He said, if you run with these other guys, you'll only go as fast as they go, that you need to. So that's where I started. Started with USAC, never raced anything else. And it was tough back then. Every time you showed up, there's 50, 60 race cars. And when I started, they qualified 18. You didn't make it through the heats or anything. They qualified 18 cars for the feature. The rest of you got to run heat races. I think if you're in the top 35, 32, something like that, you got to run the heat races and semi, and you got some laps under your belt, but you didn't get to run the main. That came along a lot later where you could, get in through the heat races of the semi. So back when I started, you changed the stagger with a hammer and a chisel.
A lot of famous people actually work for Mr. Hageman. And I've heard the stories about Floyd on the tractor and Mr. Hageman trying to work him to death. And you ended up working for Hageman too, didn't you?
I worked all day long in the construction field, either driving a truck or running heavy equipment. And I go out there at night and work at Hageman's because I needed him to help me with the race car. So I'd stooge for him at night, and I'd stooge for him at the Speedway. And the first job I had with him, I walked in there. He said, well, I put you to work. He said, there in the back room, he said, I got some tires to dismount. He said, go back there and dismount. Well, there's 85 of them. And he did it with the old spoons, and well, he didn't have a tire machine.
Yeah, that's a workout in itself.
Because he was taking care of 3 or 4 midgets at the time. So all their tires and stuff like that, so I'd dismount them all, 85 of them. And I thought, I don't know if I want to do this or not.
But you got your laps in, you got up to speed. You ran the midgets for quite a while.
I only ran the midgets for, I started midgets in 69. I ran, half a year maybe. I never did run full season. Well, I did 1 year because I had to work and
Right.
Nobody helped me. I had to pay for everything myself, pay for it out of my pocket. My parents didn't help me. They did not like me driving.
But how many
race cars.
years did you actually,
I
at the
ran
start of the
it
year, 3 or 4?
3, about 3 years. I ran park schedule.
Yeah.
And then I got a ride in a sprint car. Dave Hodgson gave me a ride in his sprint car. And I didn't run very many midgets after that. I ran a few here and there, like the Copper World and some of the bigger shows, but ran sprint cars most of the time after that.
And in your sprint car, basically, it was your car, you worked, but you also used to use.
No, I started out with Dave Hodgson.
With Dave's car, okay.
Yeah.
And then how long was it before, you ran Dave's car a lot, but how many years did you run a sprint car when you ended up with your own cars?
It was probably 4, 5, 6 years, maybe around sprint cars.
Yeah.
You went to the Speedway in 77, and you were still running sprint
cars then.
But it
I started sprint cars in 74. 1974, and I was still running in 77.